Bitcoin just broke one of the most important levels of support, and while we're doing so, we just created another lower high in the market. So on today's update video, I will be exactly talking about what is happening in terms of the CME gap which we're currently creating, the one that we filled up yesterday, and of course I'm gonna talk about all the most important charts here because Bitcoin is in another major correction right now here, and I need to urgently speak about this correction. So on today's update video, we'll give a big update on the US stock market that also had another major correction towards the downside. So I will be discussing all these very important things here that potentially could confirm a next leg down for Bitcoin and crypto. So a lot to discuss here. So don't forget to once again slap up that like button back above 1,000 likes will be highly appreciated. And with that being said, let me jump straight away in towards today's update video. So first of all, if I am looking at the US stock market, yesterday we have seen another major correction after, of course, we first of all already had that big correction. We corrected a little bit towards the upside, confirmed a lower high, and now we're moving down again here. And yeah, since it is right now weekend, we're not going to see any price action for the coming 2 days here. But of course, if we were to be creating another lower high, due to the fact that Trump is going to be signing, of course, more executive orders on April the 2nd, it could be quite bad for the entire market. So yeah, if we're going to create another lower low, we could be in for an even bigger correction on the US stock market, and that would be, of course, extremely bad here. And due to the fact that the stock market is, of course, coming down, Bitcoin is, of course, following that market and also had another major breakdown towards the lower side. Right now sitting around $83,800 US. And yeah, we are right now actually breaking the 4-hourly uptrend, which we were creating since the beginning of March and that we were holding up for about 20 days right now here. So Bitcoin also created a major CME gap on the most recent pump towards the upside. That one actually we yesterday filled up, and now we're creating a new CME gap, which is sitting around 84.4K. And yeah, just like I said in many videos before, and just like I always said, with most of these CME gaps, we tend to be hovering around that CME price. And of course, and the Monday, we're likely to fill it up here. And of course, if not, it is likely going to get filled up next week. That happens at least 95% of the times. And just like last weekend, it was once again also the case that we filled it up in the same week here, but it was just happening at the end of Friday. So very interesting how that exactly played out, of course. Now Bitcoin is breaking below the very important upper sloping trend we were trading in, which is of course quite unfortunate to see. We were creating still a bull flag pattern, but then the moment we were breaking below this pattern, we straight away saw a rejection, traded the breakdown, and of course on the retest of the previous support, that of course then flips into resistance, open a short position over there, you would have made an over 2% gain towards the downside, which of course with leverage could make you quite a lot of money. So if you took that trade, congratulations. But anyways, right now for Bitcoin, we are still in this major consolidation phase, right? And if I'm looking at this consolidation, we could be right now in for some more trouble. But now we are retesting the down sloping resistance line that previously acted as resistance, potentially could be right now acting as support. That will be of course quite important to see for Bitcoin, but ultimately on the bigger perspective, like I stated in many videos before as well, we are still creating a lower high structure. And if in this case right now Bitcoin is going to be breaking below the previous low, guys, I really think we're going to be quite screwed here, because if we set a lower low here, the next realistic support target for Bitcoin is going to be laying around $71,000 to $73,000 US. And if Bitcoin will be going towards this level, you could definitely count on a very big correction, especially on the altcoin market. So yeah, things are not looking necessarily so great here. Of course, we've not officially broken below the low here, but this is only going to be a target for me if we break below the low here. So let's say we confirm the break below the low, it's going to be dumping another 8% here. So that is basically the expectation I currently have here. But of course, if Bitcoin right now can confirm a higher low, and of course break above the previous high, we could still reverse this major trend right here. But I really think it's going to be depending also on the US stock market, and of course exactly on what Trump is going to be stating. So also in April, we got some news that Donald Trump will be meeting with El Salvador's leader, Nayib Bukele. And yeah, there's a very big chance they're going to be speaking about Bitcoin, and that ultimately is going to be something very great. Then yesterday as well, the GME stock trading hits restrictions after massive amounts of volume on short positions rose over 234% in just 24 hours. And yeah, just like I said earlier in the video, Trump is expected to make a lot of tariffs go in effect on April the 2nd, and that is ultimately going to be quite bad for the market. And still on the bigger perspective, weekly time frame, we're still seeing a major buy signal getting flashed on the market. Ultimately, very excited for that here and looking forward towards how that is exactly going to be playing out here. Looking at the liquidation heat map, there are some long liquidations laying around 70k here, but also some major ones laying around 99,000 US dollars and a little bit higher from off that point as well here. Then yesterday we saw some outflows again on the ETF, which was of course the first time in 11 days here, which was quite unfortunate to see here because I was hoping that we could have continued the trend here. So yeah, looking forward towards that here. Right now, giving a slight little update on my trade here. My hyper liquid trade is right now in a slight little loss here, but for the ones that don't know it, it's a grid trading bot here. So what it does here, it accumulates along the way down here. So actually it gives me the opportunity to accumulate at a lower price and ultimately sell at a higher price here. So that is a very great thing to be seeing. With my Bitcoin strategy is exactly the same here. If Bitcoin does moves down here, I'm going to be accumulating bigger positions. I'm going to be accumulating more Bitcoin. And as it's going to be moving up, I'm going to be distributing my positions. So this way, I'm not going to be stressed out. I'm going to be easy making a profit. And if you right now also want to be using grid trading bots, guys, the best place to do so is on Pionex. And Pionex right now allows you to get a free 1,000 US dollars if you sign up an account using the highest link below. And guys, if you right now want to be copying my Bitcoin trading strategy or my Ethereum trading strategy, which is basically a bot that automatically trades for you here, accumulates along the way down, sells along the way up here with exactly the same parameters as I am having, you can right now go to the link description to exactly copy those as well here. So make sure to check that out if you're interested. But personally, I think it's one of the best products out there in the market right now here. Then looking further in towards what we're seeing with the entire market right now here, we're seeing that the Bitcoin price compared to the previous cycles is not really performing as expected yet so far here. I mean, Bitcoin is not really doing a lot here, but compared to previous cycles, this is a stage in the market where we could be going quite exponential. Then looking at a lot of other signals, we are seeing that the M2 money supply is very significantly increasing, showing us that there's more money injection happening in the world, and ultimately that is going to be leading to higher asset prices eventually. Then if I'm looking at the weekly time frame for Bitcoin as well, we are seeing on the stochastic RSI also a major bullish crossover happening right now here. So a lot of indicators are quite oversold, and you can see here all the indicators combined here. We're seeing a lot of interesting signals emerging right now on Bitcoin. We are seeing that, of course, Bitcoin was quite oversold, and right now actually we are getting quite a good opportunity. I mean, the sentiment in the market is of course quite horrible. I mean, right now people don't really think it's going to be going higher. If I'm looking at the daily time frame purely on Bitcoin, I mean, we are clearly trading in a downtrend. No doubt about that here. But the question really is here, can we create a higher low? If we create a higher low right here and break above this high, we're going to be in for a major reversal. And the bearish case here is that we break below the previous low, and then we're going to be looking for a lower low, right? So these are exactly the trading strategy that I currently have in mind here. There are two ways Bitcoin is going to be traded. It's either where we break above the previous high in the market, and then we're going to be pushing much higher, or if we break below the previous low in the market, we're just going to be having a major dump towards the downside. So that is basically how I'm approaching Bitcoin. It's a very realistic approach here, and this is exactly how I am preparing myself right now for this market. And honestly, if I'm looking at on-chain data on Ethereum, it is quite exciting about what we're currently seeing here. The Ethereum supply shock is literally happening right now here. Well, the prices are dumping and dumping and dumping. I mean, we are also seeing that Ethereum validators are surging quite heavily. And yeah, that means that more and more people are staking their Ethereum. And ultimately, if you stake your Ethereum, you can't really sell it. So that's a very great thing here. Then on Ethereum, the 4 hourly time frame, we're back at this very important support level. Ethereum has been quite heavily underperforming compared to Bitcoin. And I mean, taking a trade on Ethereum could be more risky, but if you're looking at the weekly time frame, we are sitting at one of the most legendary support lines out there in the market. So that is really a level where I'm currently very interested in. And yeah, if I'm just looking at the 1 hour time frame, we are not necessarily looking strong here. It's going to be very dependent on what Bitcoin is going to be doing. So for my Ethereum strategy as well here, I will be really depending on what Bitcoin is going to be doing. And of course, like I explained earlier in the video, my expectations on Bitcoin really depends also on whether we're going to be breaking below the previous low in the market or whether we're going to be breaking above the previous high in the market. So yeah, this was it for me in today's update video. It's going to be a very interesting time for Bitcoin and crypto in general. There's going to be a lot of money to be made here, especially once the volatility is going to be turning up here, because volatility has not been necessarily super high. It could be turning around quite quickly here. So yeah, this was it for me in today's update video. If you did enjoy it, learn something from it, stop with that like button, and see you guys on the next one. Peace out. Goodbye.